Alright, welcome to This is Reviewable with Micah and Braden. Say hi.
Hi.
This week we did not spend enough time together, apparently,
Right.
and only consumed media separately.
Right. How many do you have?
I have a video game.
Okay. What else? That it?
I could have a show.
Well, I have two movies. Are we doing all of them?
We don't have to.
Okay. What do we want to start with?
You go first.
All right. Which movie? Wait, let me think of a fun, like, choose a hand sort of game for you to play. Would you like me to talk about the movie that involves Shia LaBeouf, or would you like me to talk about the movie that involves a naked man?
Oh, well,
First.
obviously the Naked Man.
Okay, so the Shia LaBeouf movie
What?
that I watched is called The Greatest Game Ever Played. And this movie, this was an older one. Let me look up when it came out real fast. Came out in 2005,
That's not that old, is
and
it?
it's about the 1913 US Open, and it's based on a true story. I'm not sure how true, how accurate, how faithful it is exactly. But essentially, it's about this poor kid named Francis Wame, played by Shia LaBeouf, and he is a golf prodigy. And he is a poor boy. He's just a poor boy from a poor family who gets invited to play in the U.S. Open through circumstances, and he gets to play against his childhood hero, Harry Varden, who is the best golfer in the world. He's from England. He is the only Englishman to have won the U.S. Open previously to this point, and he comes back and tries to win it again, and Shia LaBeouf gets to play against him. And it's one of them feel good sports dramas, and it wasn't bad. It's got some cheesy parts and some sappy soapy stuff. Yeah, it's not bad. Everybody does a good job performance wise. The Harry Varden is played by Stannis Baratheon
Oh.
from Game of Thrones, and it's weird, seeing him and him not being an absolute power hungry menace. So that was cool. He's really a good guy in this movie. Just a real solid chap. There's not really that much to say about this movie apart from I think it's decent. Oh, the one thing that I don't think I really liked about it is they shoehorned a romance into it, sort of this will they won't they thing with a local rich girl and Shia LaBeouf's character. And at the end of the movie, they had a little blurb that covered what happened after the U.S. Open, what happened to Shia LaBeouf's character, what happened to Stannis Baratheon's character, what happened to the caddy that Shia LaBeouf has, but it makes no mention of the girl at all, which makes me think
They
that
just added it
they
in.
just added it in because they felt like they needed to, but they're like nothing of substance happens between them at all.
That's annoying.
It's really just another it's just another excuse for the difference between classes to be observed a little bit because the dad is an asshole to Shia LaBeouf and her brother is an asshole to Shia LaBeouf because he's just a poor boy from a poor family. But yeah, like nothing really happens. She gives him like a little brooch for luck and then she watches him golf and they exchange meaningful glances a couple of times, but they barely talk. They never smooch.
Oh.
They never even hold hands.
So where's the naked guy come in?
That's in the next movie, Micah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so Stannis Baratheon decides to show up to the golf course completely naked, and that's why this movie is rated R. I'm just kidding. This movie is rated PG, if I'm not wrong. Very clean. There's probably like some very light language. There's a little bit of a conflict with Shia LaBeouf and his dad. His dad is a very hardworking, working class, blue collar guy who is super cynical and doesn't think that Shia LaBeouf should be wasting his time doing this golf thing. Thinks that he should be learning a trade because he'll never be accepted in that world. So there's a little bit of that going on. There's a little bit of this. It's a true underdog story. It's not bad. So if I were to rate it, I'd say I would rate it I'll give it a 7. Good job, Stannis Baratheon, for not burning your daughter alive in this movie. out of 10.
What picture am I supposed to use for that?
So you think I should change it?
It would be easier.
Okay. Good job, Stannis Baratheon, for not impregnating a demon witch in this movie out of 10. See, I've put you into an impossible situation. Because now you got to choose between, burning daughter alive or impregnating demon witch for the photo.
I don't like it.
Should I choose a third option?
Yes.
All right, I'll give it a 7 onion knights out of 10.
Okay.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Very Game of Thronesy today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you go.
Okay. I played Hogwarts Legacy, and
you can't say Hogwarts Legacy without saying ass, because it sucks.
Because that's what this game was.
Right.
Worst game I've ever played in my whole entire life.
Now, you say that with a clear tone of sarcasm, but for the first 10 hours of this game, you did nothing but complain about it to me.
I was joking.
No, you were not. You would say, I hate this game, and then you'd turn it off.
And I would text. Okay, that happened one time.
Like, this game sucks.
No, that happened
and then
one time. That happened one time.
No, it happened multiple
No,
times.
it did not.
Like I said, the first 10 hours of her playthrough was like that. And then you became addicted to it.
No, I'm not addicted.
And then you sunk I forgot what Steam said. It's like 70-something hours.
No, you love to exaggerate. It's like not even 50 yet.
Well, Steam says it's at least 70.
No, again, you're still exaggerating.
No.
Steam says like 50.
No, I can look it up right now. I have the Steam app. Let's see if Micah's telling the truth or not. Oh, I changed my Steam badge picture. See it in the corner?
Oh,
you like it? Yeah. What do you know? What do you know? 64.4 hours.
Still not over 70.
Did I say over 70?
Yes.
Well, what I meant was 64.4 hours. That's implied, though.
Let me see what year this game is set in.
What year?
Yeah.
It's like 100 years before Harry Potter, right?
Something
That would make
that.
it 1895.
Yeah, okay, so Hogwarts Legacy is set in 1890. So we don't have any of the same people that we know from Harry Potter.
But some of the families are there.
Right. So, like, there's a Mrs. Weasley that's a professor at the school.
Yeah. A black.
Yeah.
He's the headmaster, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And there's other names. There's other names that I noticed. Like, when I peered over Micah's shoulder a couple of times, I think I saw Rookwood.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just a Death Eater in the books. But
he's a pretty big part of this game.
Yeah, so they're throwing some lore eggs in there. But I mean, apart from that, they've recreated Hogwarts from the movies and Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
And it looks
really good.
Yeah. Just like it.
Yeah. I created my character, her name is Harriet Butt. So if anybody became her friend, they would call her Harry Butt, which
Did they?
Sadly, no. Nobody became my friend and called me Harry Butt.
Okay.
Which was sad. I was sad by that.
Well, do people named Harriet go by Harry?
Yeah.
Really?
What else would they go by?
No, I mean, Harriet's typically a woman's name, and then Harry's typically a man's name. Why would they go by Harry?
I just think that they would.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know any
that's
Harriets.
that's like Barbara and Bobby.
I've always just heard Barb.
I mean, that is one, but Bobby's not uncommon.
Huh. All right.
So basically, she comes to Hogwarts as a 5th year.
So do people named Bernadette go by Bernard?
Don't be daft. She comes to Hogwarts as a 5th year because her magic showed up really late because she has this special ability to see and use a rare form of ancient magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game is basically using ancient magic to stop the bad guys from taking over.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting. Guess who are the bad guys?
Goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty racist.
I know. And, there's a bunch of side quests and stuff that you can do. I don't think I'd ever be able to 100% this game, but finishing it and doing a lot of side quests, I think I finished at like 73%,
mm-hmm.
which I'm kind of impressed by. And I deserve a big old pat on the back and a good job, Micah. Guess who read 95% of the
Were
dialogue?
you interested in it?
Not always.
But somewhat?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you're ready for Baldur's Gate.
I don't know what game that is. But you didn't tell me good job.
I think you're ready for The Witcher 3.
No. You didn't tell me good job.
Good job, Micah.
Thank you. Remember just a few weeks ago I said I would probably never, ever
Right.
read all the dialogue?
Right, because you can't read, but you're learning.
You're not supposed to tell people that.
Just kidding, guys. Micah can read at least a third grade level.
No, what was the statistic that I read? It was fifth grade or
I think
sixth
it was
grade?
fifth grade.
Or was it sixth grade?
No, I think it was fifth because you sent me the reading test or whatever, the reading competency test, and it turns out that that's designed for sixth graders, so that's where you're getting sixth grade. But it was fifth grade.
Okay. Yeah, I read some statistics saying that 54% of the United States reads at a fifth grade reading level. And so I got worried.
Yeah, so
which is stupid because
so she went out and onto the internet and found a reading test
for us to take.
And by the way,
it wasn't good.
We aced it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you know, and that's not a brag because we should. We're older than sixth graders by quite a bit.
Yeah.
But just so you're not worried that we're not, we can't read at the sixth grade level. Don't worry.
Okay, so back to Hogwarts Legacy. I know you guys are worried that I did learn the unforgivable curses. And I'll have you know.
Had to buy the DLC for that.
Yes, but also Braden peer pressured me.
Into
learning the unforgivable curses.
Yeah, because that's the coolest part. Like, the Avada Kedavra is the coolest part of the game. It's all green and powerful and stuff.
Yeah, but it sucks because it has a minute and a half reload time or whatever.
Right. Us gamers call that a cooldown, Micah. You'd get that if, you're a real gamer. Have I just put you into another impossible situation? Because usually Micah claims that she doesn't play video games, and then I just insulted her gamer cred, and I could tell she was mad about that. So now she has two choices. She either accepts what I just said, or she admits that she is a gamer.
I'm not a gamer.
Okay, so you accept what I just
you
said.
asshole.
Full of dilemmas today too.
What are some notable things about this game?
It's huge.
Yeah, the map is huge. Hogwarts, huge. I will say something that really kind of pissed me off about this game. The way that you quick travel through the map is through flu powder, and you can what's the verb for that or whatever?
I don't know.
You can flew into the castle, but the way that they have the map set up for that, you can't tell what floor you're on. So, or how close you actually are to where you're trying to go. So that really pissed me off. Something that I thought was fun is you can capture a bunch of wild creatures, and in your room of requirements, you can have these different habitats to put your animals in there. It's kind of a waste. Like, they kind of want it to be a big deal because there's this decently long side quest that you can go on where you get different animals to put in your habitats. But then, like, once they're there, you don't really do anything with them. So it's kind of boring. I captured a few unicorns, though. Had to keep them safe.
The dueling is really fun.
Yeah.
And Micah hates fighting.
Yeah, I do hate fighting games, but this was challenging and easy enough to make it fun for me, I would say. And I am not the best fighter, and so, parrying and all of that is definitely something that I struggle with and I have to think about every single time. Got easier as the game went on. I will say, without spoiling it, the last boss fight kind of pissed me off with just the way that you are supposed to fight the boss. But once you figure it out, it's not that hard. It just takes a really long time, which I think is annoying. Is there anything else?
And you liked to explore.
Yeah, this is a great game if you like to explore maps, which I do.
And if you like the world of Harry Potter, it really is a must-play, right?
Yeah.
You get to fly around on a broom. You can fly around on a hippogriff or a thestral. You can, you get a room of requirement. You brew potions. You cast spells, you go around Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. It's just a lot of Harry Potter stuff going on. And it's done really well, right?
Yeah. The other thing that's annoying is to get Alohomora, you have to go on this side quest that takes you all over the map. And I thought it was stupid. Just give me the spell. I didn't feel the need to go on this side quest. Because there's this guy that's being haunted, and he's like, I'm being haunted by this thing. Go and find them all over the entire map.
I mean, that's what a side quest is. Well, welcome.
Right, but what, like, how is he being haunted by something that's, you know, 2,000 kilometers away or whatever it is? You know?
Oh, sure. Okay.
I'm gonna rate this a 9 unforgivable curses out of 10.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
good game. I would definitely recommend it. As a non gamer, you know, I would recommend it.
Keep in mind that Mike is a liar.
No, I'm not.
Uh huh. Sure, sure. You're not a gamer. The second movie I watched involved a naked man in the form of naked Ray Fiennes, and it is The Return, 2024 movie about the very end of the Odyssey. And I was interested in this movie when I saw the trailer. You know, everybody knows how the Odyssey ends. He comes home and he kills all the suitors, and I saw that this was a rated R movie about the ending of the Odyssey, and I was like, oh, so this is going to be really like bloody and just, just that part. And I was like, okay, cool.
I will say, a couple weeks ago when I gave my rating of the Odyssey the book, and I
Hmm.
said, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll watch this," Braden said, "No, you shouldn't watch it. You won't like it." And then, of course, he watched it right next to me.
Yeah, I looked it up, and I looked up the violence level on IMDb, and it said moderate, not severe. So I was like, yo, Micah will be fine to watch this. And it really is moderate. It's not very violent at all, not very bloody at all. But one thing that it is slow as
Yeah.
this movie was kind of a drag. There are parts that I liked where they're doing something interesting with the framing and the lighting, and parts where the dialogue feels somewhat weighty and interesting.
They also didn't follow the book very well.
But then there so much of this movie feels like it was done on a very low budget.
How long did this movie feel?
This movie felt like 2.5 hours to me.
Do you know how long it was?
Is it just 2 hours?
An hour and 57
Yeah,
or 56.
it felt long to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could have been because I was sick as well.
No, it feels long.
Yeah, it really did. And to be truthful and honest, which I try to be.
Which we always are on this podcast.
Right. See, there you go. Mike is admitting that she's a lie. Not a
No,
liar, just a lie. She's actually not real. Yeah, I don't know. Like this ending part of the Odyssey is not content rich enough to stretch out into a 2-hour movie.
but you also haven't read the book in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. But
But they also didn't follow. I don't know why they changed so much about the ending when it's all laid out there for you in the book very easily, and it's well done already. I don't think it was very well done. This movie.
yeah, they decide to get rid of the gods
Mm-hmm.
influence. So it's a grounded retelling of the Odyssey, which whatever, that's fine. That's their prerogative. They can mythology is there to be changed and tweaked and has been changed and tweaked in many retellings over many years, and that's
Yeah, but Athena being a part of the ending, she's like a main character of the ending.
yeah, I think that if you're going to directly adapt something,
Change it more than you did, like location and time or something like that. I don't
no,
know.
I would just prefer it to be more err on the side of faithful personally than not. And they didn't they didn't include the gods, right? Which that's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's just
Well, and
it's just fine. Like it's just
Telemachus is a little bitch.
oh, he's a total bitch. Something about his face too.
It's so punchable.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I was when the suitors were going after him. I was like, honestly, I hope they catch him.
Have at it.
No, I'm just kidding. The suitors were pretty awful.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're the
you
worst.
wanted all of them to die, even the ones that were quote unquote nice.
No, none
No,
of them are.
no.
There's a part in the book where one of the suitors comes up to Odysseus after it's revealed that he is Odysseus and he's trying to kill them all. Apparently, he's like a priest, and he's like, "Please, Odysseus, don't kill me, don't kill me. Like, I'm a good guy." It's like, bitch, what are you doing here then? Why are you here all the time? You're a good guy, and yet you're just wasting all of Odysseus's and Telemachus's money.
Yeah, I will say that's something that this movie does portray well is the absolute havoc that these suitors are reaping on the land.
Yeah,
You know, that every single night they are demanding that pigs and goats and sheep are brought to them and so that they can slaughter them just to eat them and
drinking all the wine
taking
and
everybody's
yeah,
stuff. They're walking into people's houses and, you know, graping and
yeah,
pillaging and just doing whatever they want. So I liked how they showed why these guys deserved what they got. I remember when I first read the Odyssey in I think it was freshman year of high school. I remember thinking, okay, well, he's just slaughtering all these guys. Did they really deserve it? But this movie, you know, shows yeah, they do.
yeah.
They absolutely do. So, you know, that I'll say that for it. And then like I said, there are some scenes, particularly when he is pretending to be this old vagabond, this old soldier, and he's talking to Penelope because Penelope hears that this old man served in the Trojan War, and so maybe he knew Odysseus, and he's like trying to obscure his face as they're talking to each other. There were some interesting shots and some interesting framing, and I liked that scene. And stuff like that does exist in this movie, but by and large, it's just kind of boring. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, if I can suffer through this, that's fine. But once we get to the ending, that's when it's going to be really great. And the ending wasn't that great. It wasn't as punchy and well choreographed and bloody and satisfying as I wanted it to be.
So you wanted it more graphic?
Yeah, or like it doesn't even have to be more graphic, just more interesting choreography wise. It was just kind of damp. Felt kind of damp and disappointing at the end,
Like a wet blanket?
like a wet blanket.
Interesting.
So, as you can tell, I was not a very big fan of this movie. If I had to rate it, I'd
Why do
probably
you keep saying if I had to rate it? That's the whole point.
if I have to, if you're holding a gun to my head, I'm going to give it a 6 unstringable bows out of 10. Pretty disappointed. Hopefully Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is better.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have anything coming up?
Well, I'm currently in the middle of playing Ratchet Skank.
So dumb.
For those of you that can guess what's in my head, that's Ratchet and Clank. I'm playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PC. And after that, I sort of went on a little, because there was a big sale on Steam, so I sort of bought some games, sort of. So I may be playing those pretty soon. I bought No Rest for the Wicked, which is in early access still. I bought Hades 2, which is also in early access. I got God of War Ragnarok because you got to continue after finishing God of War. I never talked about God of War on this podcast, did I?
Mm-mm.
I made a special video for it though,
Yeah.
so go watch that on the YouTube. But spoiler alert, I loved God of War 2018. I would give it a 10 out of 10. But what's coming up with you, huh? Oh, I'm watching Reacher season 3. Don't know if I'll have that finished by next week. Maybe I will. What about you?
I started watching The Crown. I'll have the first season done by the next time we record.
You know what I've seen on YouTube that looks pretty good?
What?
The Great. It's about Catherine the Great, Russia.
Catherine the Great. I don't think I've ever heard of her.
But it's like a comedy.
Oh.
It's like a British comedy set in feudal Russia, right? Hang on, let me look it up. The Great. Yeah, it's a comedy drama, and I've just seen some clips from it, and it looks really funny. Maybe it's actually not funny, and it's more drama than comedy. But the guy that plays the Tsar is Nicholas Holt.
What? Wait, when
Yeah,
did this come out?
maybe the last season was in 2020. But he's just like a total spoilt asshole buffoon leader.
Oh,
It's from what I've seen, it looks like something we would enjoy. So,
okay.
but that's not really coming up.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all.
Severance. Yeah, because by the time this
Uh
is
huh.
this is out for sure, Severance season 2.
Mhm.
So definitely Severance season 2. Maybe Reacher season 3, maybe The Crown.
No, I will be done.
Okay. So it'll probably be a TV episode
Yeah.
next time.
Okay. Yeah. And it.
I'm going to end it. Finish it with Thunderbolt Pikachu.